Well, we're podcasting again. Here we go.
Here we go. This is like number 3 in the last
Couple of days.
48 hours. We're on a roll.
We're on a roll.
We are on a roll.
Definitely. It's a good thing. Pile them up.
It's right. We just got home from a trip.
We did a few hours ago.
Yeah, and every time we get home, it's like rush, rush, rush. Like we had to go to the grocery. Well, we didn't. Jeff went to the grocery store while I stayed back and mopped the floors and got the laundry caught up and everything like that.
Yes.
So we rush around so we can ideally get to chill time earlier for a Sunday so we can just squeeze out that last little bit of weekend.
Yes. Thank God.
I know.
We got it done.
Is your back still hurting?
It does hurt. It's not excruciating right now.
Jeff has some back issues.
I have some back issues.
Scoliosis.
It's not too, some scoliosis, upper scoliosis, lower scoliosis. It creates some other issues with the back, but I need to get my inflammation under control. That'll help quite a bit.
Right.
I need to get super healthy.
I mean, you act like you're not healthy at all.
Well, my body thinks this is the baseline. This godlike body.
Oh my gosh.
This picture of health is the baseline.
No, but I'm just saying you act like you're I got to get healthy. I mean, you act like you're so unhealthy and you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm pretty healthy for a 45 and 3/4-year-old
right.
Adult male.
I mean, everybody could do better.
I think you could take a peek inside and see a whole different picture.
That's true. That's true. We do need some milk thistle.
We need some milk thistle.
Jeff and I decided we're going to start taking milk thistle because it's good for the liver, and we just figured with our nightly drinking behaviors that it might be good.
We put the old liver to the test.
Right. But you're right. If you opened yourself up, we might find something.
We look
both
at those arteries.
We both might be at crap show.
Right.
But anyway, I think that comparing people our age and our area, I feel like we're in good shape.
But
everybody could do better.
We're doing good, but I need to get better about. I haven't done that good in 2021 with my discipline. I've kind of slacked this year.
Right.
We're getting close to halfway through the year, we're a quarter in. But,
Right.
I still have been very lax.
You've got to get it together. You're going to be a grandpa.
Doing intermittent fasting.
Well, you don't have to do intermittent fasting.
No, you don't, but it worked for me, and I felt good, and I was in good shape, and I was 13 to 15 pounds lighter 3 months ago.
Because you were eating less, not because you were doing intermittent fasting. Let's not confuse the people.
I was eating less,
right?
But I was doing intermittent fasting,
okay,
and that's what helped me eat less. Which
I understand
wanted to eat less.
So,
and when I ate, I just ate what I needed, pretty much.
Okay, but let's not confuse the people. Let's not confuse the people in thinking that is why you were in such good shape. You were in good shape because your calories were under control. You got your calories under control by intermittent fasting, but there's all sorts of ways to get your calories under control. Don't get it twisted, people.
I'm not getting it twisted. I'm just saying, for me, intermittent fasting kept me at a baseline. It kept me steady.
You didn't say it that way at first.
It kept me steady. So I was at a weight for 2 years doing that. You know what I mean?
Because you're the problem.
You're the problem. I think we started out with that. I think that's how we started this podcast.
Because here's what happens. People will be like, oh, wait, what did he just say? He was in good shape because he was intermittent fasting? No, that's what people are scrolling for and listening for somebody to say, this is how you do. No,
it's
there's
true,
not
people.
One way.
If you do it, you will be in better shape.
There's
sure.
No, that's not true. It's not for everybody. We've talked about
it's not
this
for
before.
everywhere. What it does for me, it's better for my personality.
Right.
And my schedule.
Yes.
And it helps me to basically, I think 100% of people, if they said you have to eat within this window, everybody would lose calories.
Obviously.
If you said you can only eat 8 hours a day.
That's obvious, Jeff, but not everybody wants to starve themselves all morning.
I'm not saying for them to do it. I'm just saying that's why I maintain, because I got in a routine of this is what I'm eating every day at this time.
Okay, but it's not
and now I graze all
it's not
day
for, but
from
that's not
7:30 till 10.
That's not for everybody, because here's the problem. Some people like to eat as soon as they get up. Me. Some people like to eat smaller meals because it keeps them fuller longer, therefore they don't overeat. The problem I had, we're not going to debate this the whole podcast, the problem I had with intermittent fasting is that I was so hungry by the time I got to time to eat, I just wanted to eat. It was just like I felt ravenous. And I don't like feeling like that.
You don't like feeling ravenous?
I don't like feeling ravenous.
That word is amazing, though. That is an awesome word. I want to feel ravenous.
I prefer to feel satisfied all day versus starving and then finally the window's here and now I just feel ravenous. So,
some of us are gluttons.
Our personalities are different.
Some of us, it's like, I start to feel that pain. It's like, yeah, I kind of like this.
See, I don't like that. But it is for some people. So, like, if I have a client that comes to me and says, I have a busy morning, I don't like to eat breakfast, I'm not anywhere near hungry, then yeah, I definitely recommend. I mean, it's not bad. I'm just saying it's not for everybody. That's all I'm going to say about it. You made it portray like, when I intermittent fasting, I was in shape and that's what did it. That's what you got to do. And that's not what you have to do.
You can adjust your hours and you can do it. You can
but
start.
It's not
I'm just saying,
easy.
There's some people that might be like, I don't care to eat after 4:00 in the afternoon. Okay, well then start eating at 7 a.m.
That's true, but are you going to not drink anything other than black coffee, black tea, and water after
That's
4?
That's why it's easy for me.
You can't have any wine. So,
I can go on just water and black coffee till 2 p.m. every day.
You're just built different.
But I couldn't do it after 2. There's no way in hell I could do it after
Everybody's
2.
different. And that is the beauty of intermittent fasting is that you can adjust the hours, but you just have to be sure you do it right. That's all I'm going to say about that because we have this list we want to talk about.
It's really easy for lazy people. So if you're lazy like me.
But you think you're doing it and you might be breaking your fast. There's so many rules to it.
I know it's
so
funny.
restrictive.
There's so many people that have talked to me because I went through a period where people were seeing me do the carnivore diet and then seeing me do intermittent fasting because you would publicize it and you would tell people, Jeff does that, talk to him. So people would talk to me or I'd talk to people and I'd hear people, they'd be like, oh, you do intermittent fasting. I've been doing it for 6 months and I'm like, so what are you doing? And they'll be like, well, I get up every morning, I have some coffee and, with some sweet and low in it and some creamer.
Well, you're already done.
Like, or they're like, I get a workout in and I'm at the gym talking to the guy. I'm like, so when did you break your fast today? And he's like, I don't break it till 3 p.m. I'm like, you're chewing gum.
Right.
You're talking to me with gum in your mouth. You broke your fast.
But people don't know that.
Forget it. You just destroyed the whole concept of fasting. Your body has started metabolizing and doing what it's supposed to do.
Right. And not everybody understands that. And that's why there's parts of intermittent fasting that's so restrictive. And then there's parts that aren't because after your fast is over, your diet can be a little bit more loose. But those hours that you're fasting are so restrictive, and there's not a lot of people that understand that. Like literally, it's water, black coffee, black tea. That's it. There's no BCAAs. There's no protein powders. There's nothing. There's no cream in your coffee. There's no half and half. There's no milk in your coffee. There's no stevia. There's no chewing gum. There's no mints. There's no. I don't even know if you can do anything that you.
I think it's acceptable to use stevia.
Is it? Yeah, that's controversial.
That's the one thing you found that I started doing.
Yeah, but that's controversial. If you're wanting to do I don't know. But anyway, besides all that.
Let's go on to the
topics, but I'm just saying I had to preface by saying yes it can work and yes it's a great way for some people, not knocking it, but you made it come across like I've got to get back to that because that's the only way. That's your way.
That's the only way.
And that's a lot of people's way, which is fine.
It's a way for me. I can do that or I could yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I have this list pulled up. We did this list like a while ago. It's like list of 56. I don't know why 56. Why did if you're going to go to 56, why can't we just give me 4 more? I need a good round number.
It is not
Or could we just end at 55? Are you weird like that?
I'm
weird like that.
I'm very weird like that.
56 is such an odd.
That is one place that we are very similar in. I don't like that. They could have just dropped. We've seen 20 they could have dropped off so far.
Absolutely.
Right? Why not make it 40? Let's just make it an easy 40.
Such an odd number. I mean, it's actually an even number. 56 is an even number, but you know what I mean? It's a weird number. Anyway, we've skipped around. We haven't gone through all of them because, like I said, like he just said, some of them are really
they're just stupid.
Weird. Where was I going to start with this? Oh, here it was. Number 38. What characteristics do you think are necessary for a strong relationship? And do you possess these characteristics? We've talked about some of this before, but what characteristics do you think are necessary for a strong relationship? Jeff, go.
You have to be empathetic.
Ooh, you
broke
the gate with empathy.
I think that's the key. That's the key in life to really get along with people.
Ooh.
Empathy. If you're not empathetic to people, if you can't see their side of the story, if you can't put yourself in their shoes, you're going to have a tough time. Somebody's going to have to bow down to somebody.
You didn't show empathy to that man on the street last night, and I don't
give a shit about that man. Who was it? I don't even remember what you're talking about.
The man that was a homeless man.
Oh, I saw his scam coming. I have a heart. I have a heart for homeless people. I gave homeless people money earlier in the day, but there's something about my gut, and when people come to, I'm just like, all right, man. No,
well,
you're not gonna. No,
that's not really.
And he was scamming from the beginning. You saw him talking to his boys like, "I'm gonna get these people."
Well, I don't think that's true, but anyway, that you're right. We're really not in a relationship with the man on the street. So, in a relationship, whether it's husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, just significant other, so to speak.
Honestly, though,
let's talk about that relationship. Not necessarily. We're not talking about kid relationships.
No, we're talking about husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. You know.
Or
girlfriend, boyfriend.
There's so many scenarios. Significant other, partners.
Like whatever. I don't identify as anything with a boy, and I don't identify as anything with a girl relationship. Those, and I missed a few. I'm sure of it. 1,000%.
Can we just say partners right now?
That might be controversial. It's 2021. I don't know if we can say that. It's not controversial.
It's partners.
Okay, but there could be some construct that we're not aware of.
Well, we're not aware of it, so have empathy. Okay.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Empathy. That's the first one that comes to my mind without thinking, because just think about it. If I'm empathetic, I might not be wrong, like in a fight, but just think the worst fights and the worst situations is when I refuse to be empathetic, that I'm so hell-bent on my side,
right,
that I refuse to give any, and that's okay. That happens a lot, but usually you come around and you see a little bit of the other side, even if you don't agree with it.
Yeah,
there's times I don't agree with your side, but then I still go, but that's how I can see how she sees it from that side.
Right, and I think you're getting way better at that and so am I, than the way we used to be. And maybe that's just a maturity thing. Maybe that happens as you mature. You get better at empathy, maybe, because you've been through life. But I think we're both getting a lot better at that, like stepping back, like you said, and like thinking about the other person, like how would that make, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Seeing the other side. Is empathy the same as seeing the other side? I think it is, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You empathize.
I think a characteristic that you also need to have is forgiveness as well.
That's probably number one, actually.
You know what? Honestly, you can be in the best relationship ever, but somebody's going to do something that they shouldn't do, whether it's big or small, whether it's, big or small, something that you're going to have to say I'm sorry for, and the other person is, if you want your relationship to work, is pretty much going to have to forgive you. Now, sometimes it's going to be harder than others to forgive because it depends on what
actually happened. There's different levels of situations.
Yeah, like if I took your car out, your brand new car out, and I wrecked it, I mean, you're going to be mad. But you're gonna
versus taking my brand new car out and fucking somebody in it.
Right.
There's two separate consequences. Like, I'm going to be angry.
That would be
But the other one is going to be really
right, but both are going to require forgiveness in order for our relationship to move on. Because if you harbor these, if you harbor being mad at somebody and not forgiving, it's gonna always eke out.
It's going to eke out, but you're imprisoning yourself, and people say that, and you go, "Oh, that's stupid." But then you get in a situation where you have to let things go, even when you don't have to, right? You don't have to let it go. You weren't wrong, but it's eating your soul and it's imprisoning you. It's not, it's just for you to continue on a relationship and it to be successful.
Right.
You're right. I like that one.
I think patience.
You have to be forgiving, because you're going to forgive. Could be multiple times a day. It could be multiple times a year. It just depends on what type of person you are.
Well, it depends on what's going on in your life. You know what I mean? And I think also you have to have patience. Patience with life, patience with the other person, and patience how the other person reacts to different things in life, especially if it's not how you react, which kind of goes hand in hand with empathy. But I think patience with the other person is huge.
It is huge.
Patience,
forgiveness, empathy.
Give one more. I've gave two. Now you give another one.
Patience.
I said that already.
I know. I'm just thinking through these. Patience, forgiveness, empathy. I'm trying to think of the word for... I don't know if it's understanding of the person. I think that's more celebrate with the other person. Celebrate the other person's... I think you have to be able to celebrate the other person's successes. or what they think are successes. Like, I think you have to be happy for your other person. There's nothing worse than you thinking.
So you don't need to compete with your partner.
Exactly. There's nothing worse than, even if you don't care about insurance, you don't care about anything I've done.
I really don't.
But I might.
Oh my gosh, I was so bored out of my mind yesterday when you guys were talking about insurance. I wanted to cry.
I know. But if something happens, it's great during the day. Like for me, and I'm excited about it. I always want to tell you because you're my partner.
Right. No, I understand that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's nothing worse than telling your partner about something and they undermine it or they belittle it. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, big deal.
Right.
Like,
I'm sure we've done that to each other before when we're in a bad mood.
Oh God, we've done that to each other with not knowing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we talk so much. It's like we probably do it, and it's like, well, he wasn't even listening.
So are you saying that when you tell me that you bound a contract, should I make signs and hold them up when you come home? Should I put signs in the yard that says, "Congratulations, Jeff, for getting that AOR"?
Wow, I'm really turned on right now.
Binding that contract?
Well, it's binding coverage, yes.
I thought binding coverage, whatever.
Binding coverage,
they both start with
You're getting,
Do I need to put signs in the yard?
You need to memorize those things. You can say them to me.
You want me to say them to you in the heat of the moment?
No, I don't.
Jeff, be my AOR. Are you my AOR? Say it. Say it. Say it.
Doesn't even make sense. I love it.
Agent of record, right?
Yes. Can you be my agent of record? I guess that does make sense. That's pretty good. Yeah. Will you be my agent of record?
I'm your agent of record, baby. Bind it. Bind it.
I want to tell you about me crushing something. You know, you're like, crush this. You know, I cannot wait to get my hands on you. I can't believe you're such a stud.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I know what you're saying, though. Like, because sometimes things are, my industry is not always that exciting either as far as fitness goes and working at GNC.
Milestones.
Like, so even when I come home and tell you stories about customers at GNC, at least you say something. I don't feel stupid for telling you. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, or like, what in the world? Or, at least you converse. Some people be like, don't bother me with your stupid GNC stories.
Right.
Anyway, those are good. Okay, so do we possess those? That was the second part of the question. I think
most of the time. I'm
going to answer for you. Yes,
oh.
I think that you have. What did we say? We said empathy, which you have. We said forgiveness, which you have, patience, which you have, and celebrating your partner's accomplishments, which you have.
Those are all on a sliding scale, though.
What
Sometimes you don't have as much patience.
Okay, well, of course it's not. Right. This is not a 100% of the time.
But I think there's people that don't have some of those qualities at all.
Oh, I 100% agree.
And I think it could be for a multitude of reasons. But they just don't possess those qualities, which makes a relationship very difficult. Very difficult. You know? Yes,
I do. I totally know some relationships that don't possess that, especially if the other partner thinks that they're better than the others, even in the workplace or even as a dominant, like, I am the man, I am the man of the house, I am the alpha. And I couldn't jive with that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Even
I think
though we know I'm the alpha.
I think there should be equal respect, though. I mean, I think that there should be equal respect.
There should be.
And I know a lot of relationships where there's not equal respect and there's not equality. And I think that's not necessarily a characteristic equality, but I think that's something a relationship needs, that you are equal. You are not above me. I am not above you. It's not like I rule I hate when it's like,
I agree.
Yes, when your kids come to you, like there are a lot of times I'm like, let me talk to your dad, or let me talk to your mom, and we do that.
But I do the same thing.
But I'm never gonna but you do the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't talk to your mom. I'm not.
Dad rules the house. I mean, of course. I mean, I'm torn by that. I mean, I guess I am to that thing of where like the man kind of. I guess, but I'm not really.
But you're that way because I'm not that way.
But I'm not really. Like, I don't, like, I think we both rule the house. Like, I don't think you're in charge or I'm in charge necessarily.
Neither of us really flex on each other.
No, we don't.
We don't compete.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, we're on equal playing field.
Yes. I think the only time we do that kind of stuff is when it's in a role play situation.
I knew you were going to take it there. But no, seriously, like, honestly, like, if the kids come to me and say, if Brooke comes to me and says, Mom, I need some clothes. Can I buy some clothes? I do say, let me check with your dad, because Jeff, like right now is running. Well, we're kind of in a weird situation we're switching over some stuff. But anyway, you know what's in our bank account and you kind of run the money right now.
Right.
So I'm going to naturally say, let me check with your dad because I'm not sure what's going on with our bank right now. I'm not sure what's going on with our money right now. The girls may come to you and be like, can I go tonight over to my friend's house and da-da-da-da. Let me check with your mom because I run the schedule pretty much.
Right.
Like you might say, yeah, you can go over to your friend's house. I'm like, no, we were supposed to go to my mom's for, you know what I mean? And you would forget.
Right.
So there's things like that. But, you know, or Nate might say, can my friend spend the night? And I might want to, let me check with your dad because I want to check with you to see what kind of day you've had at work. Do you really want another kid over here? You know what I mean? Like we're equal on that.
Right. I would never, ever, without checking with you, I would never.
But
I'll never make the stupid mistake of saying check with your mom. You know, I'm never going to do that.
But we've made there have been times in our life where you have made an executive decision.
Yes.
With what and I've not necessarily agreed.
Oh, yeah.
And I did play the role of, well, I've got to go where you go.
It's happened.
And I'm not saying I regret that because that was a whole 8 years of our life that I would never change.
Right.
But it has happened. And I have threatened to make the same executive move because we're equal. Therefore, I think that it's time that we go ahead and pack for the beach.
Okay. All right. Cool.
No, but honestly, I mean, out of all those characteristics,
I will tell you right now, if you secure the job,
Jeff, I can secure a job tomorrow at the beach. You secure your part, mofo. I can secure you a job. I can get you all sorts of give me your resume. You give me your resume and I'll find you a job.
Look at this. I've got my own job hunter right here.
Listen, I'm not even kidding.
She'll put me to work.
I'll put you to work. I'm not saying where you're going to get a job, but you'll have a job.
I'll be waxing surfboards or something.
Yeah, listen, we were watching HGTV last night and you said low key you would love to be doing that construction work. It would be so satisfying.
I would. I like stuff like that.
Think about that though. Why? I mean, then go after that. Can you do stuff like that?
You know I can.
No, I know you can. So why don't you practice on the basement downstairs, putting up the drywall?
Here comes the angle.
Seriously, drywall needs to be put up. We've already measured.
We have.
And you know how much you need.
I do.
You know where Lowe's is.
It's down the road.
You have a car.
I have a vehicle.
I don't know that the car will hold the drywall, but I think we can make it work.
We could.
And you just get some nails and a hammer and you go to work. And let me see your work. Let me see your work because I got to know what kind of work you do before I start putting your resume out there for contract.
I understand.
For being a contractor or working for a contractor.
Gotcha.
So go ahead and put the drywall up and go ahead and paint. And then go ahead and paint that center block down there white. And then I'll see if I'm confident enough to put my name out there for you to work for a contractor.
Gotcha. What's the next point on this list?
Oh, see, you don't want to do it.
Well, we can talk about it when we're not on the podcast. Yes.
What do you mean when we're not on the podcast? People want to know.
Well, hey, people.
Don't y'all want to know?
I am going to do that downstairs. Your honey-do list, I know about it.
You do, but I need to tell the people so they can hold you accountable. If you're a friend of Jeff's, please blow his phone up asking him if he's finished the basement. Why are you looking at me like, shut up? I can read you like a book. Okay, the next one is, the next one I don't know that I want to talk about because I don't talk about politics on here.
I don't like politics.
It says, what controversial issues, social or political, do you feel strongly about? Well, we know what mine is.
We do.
We know mine's abortion. The comedian last night almost started making abortion jokes, and I was cringing.
He said he didn't. He wasn't going to because they're hard to execute.
They are hard to execute.
That was so funny.
That's, yeah.
That was the joke.
That was the joke. I didn't laugh. Listen, I am not an uptight person, but there are certain issues that I am uptight about, and that is one of them. So we were talking, Jeff and I were talking in the car today. I don't think we were on the podcast when we were talking about this, but the guy was saying last night, the comedian, about the abortion joke, and then he was talking about some other jokes that he's done, and people have come up to him after the show and was like, I cannot believe you, or why did you, or this should not be joked about. But Jeff and I were talking, I mean, you are at a stand-up comedy show. You know that a lot of times they go after these hot topics or these hot points that get people all up in arms and make jokes about them. So that being said, if he would have gone on with the abortion joke, if I got so upset with it and so annoyed by it, I would have just gone to the bathroom. Right. I would have never, or I would have sat there and not laughed like the guy in the blue shirt a couple of tables over. He wasn't laughing at anything. Nothing. You couldn't got him to laugh. I mean, I don't know what was wrong with him. Jeff and I were talking after the show last night. I was like, he did not laugh once. And Jeff was talking about what a miserable guy he must be. And I'm like, or he made a bet with his partner and he or she was like, if you don't laugh this whole show, I'll give you XYZ or I'll do XYZ to you. So maybe he was trying to win a bet. Or he could be a miserable person. I don't know.
It could be it. It could be the bet. The bet's a good explanation for it.
Right.
But why would you ruin a guy's comedy show?
Jeff, people do things to spice up their relationship. It doesn't matter.
That's
Maybe he
true.
doesn't like stand-up comedy and he's there for her. And he's like, this isn't going to be hard to not laugh because I don't really think this stuff's funny. Anyway, my whole point being is if he did go on with the abortion jokes, I would not have laughed, however. And I would have cringed a little bit and I might have gotten a little bit uncomfortable because it upsets me. But I would never approach somebody about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So that would be I'm just naming my controversial issue. We won't debate it. What would be yours? Social or political? Just tell us what it is. What did it say? Do you feel strongly about?
I don't feel strongly about anything.
You have to feel strongly about something or you're dead.
I feel strongly about the stupid stuff going on with people canceling people because of things they say or do.
So that's a social issue.
That's really irritating to me. What did I say about who? What did I say? Is about the whole Jimmy Fallon thing?
About the TikTok dances? About
not giving creators credit, which I mean, I think they should get credit, but I think they wouldn't have a chance at any credit if it weren't for stuff like that. I don't know. That's not even a good example.
So you're talking about cancel culture.
Cancel culture drives me crazy.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So frustrating.
That's a political, that's a social topic.
I don't like it. It's frustrating.
I think it is too. I think it's way overboard.
We're a bunch of pussies.
Way
Our country
overboard.
everybody's turning into a bunch of soft,
I agree,
uptight, weak people.
I totally agree with you. I think the cancel culture, say that 3 times fast.
Cancel culture, cancel culture, cancel culture.
Okay, so there you go. It's way too much.
It's too much.
It's way too much, but I like that one. That's good. I would agree with you on that one. Let's see. Nah, we're not going to talk about that one. What is one thing that scares you the most and why? It doesn't have to be like mine. Of course, it's frogs and nuns, but it could be like a life. Like one thing that scares me the most is being complacent. We talked about that before. Yes. But I fear being complacent. And
what's the context of this list though? Because it's being scared in your relationship. Just relationship questions.
Well, no, because the question before doesn't necessarily have to do with the relate. It says 56 relationship topics to debate. I mean, I think it's basically topics to debate because
okay, I got you. I didn't know if it had to be with what would scare you in your relationship.
You could say that. Well, that still could be complacency.
It could. That's because one of the most scary things for your relationship.
Huge.
Yes.
Huge. When you're complacent in your relationship, meaning, everything's fine, everything's good, we're not going to do. When you get complacent and just comfortable in your relationship, yes, there is part of a relationship you want to be comfortable. I'm not saying that. Of course, you want to be with somebody you can be comfortable with and not have to stress every day. But you better not get too complacent because that's when things can get a little whoa.
True.
Honestly, it's just, it's a fear of mine and getting complacent in a relationship or even in my life in general, which is what I'm fearing I'm doing with everything else. But anyway. What about yours? I said complacency. What's your fear?
Oh, man. What is my fear?
Relationship or not? I mean, Jeff's fearless.
I'm not fearless.
Well,
I guess
you could think of something.
Well, my fear usually, any true fear that I have, if I like wake up and I worry about something, it usually has to do with my kids.
Fear.
Especially like Maddie being gone and like something happened to her. You know what I mean? Like something... just being out there and I don't know what's going on. Something happened.
So fear of not knowing. Are you a FOMO? Are you fear of missing out?
No, because I'm not I don't need to be involved in anything. I just worry sometimes about her. Like the last time she said she was going to Morgantown, a 3-hour drive, and it hit me when I knew she's in the car, and it just I can't believe I'm like this because I've never been like this except for with my kid.
Oh, just your kid. Just your one kid, so you're not like that.
The others don't drive. The others don't drive across.
Oh, you're talking about when just driving.
Just I woke. That's what I'm saying.
What about when Brooke or Kaylee or Nate get in a car with somebody else?
I don't. If they're going to go,
or for you, with you.
No, my point is she's going 3.5 hours away by herself to a friend's and driving back. And when that's when I've had some worry, like it hits me like she's on her way there. I hope she's there. I hope she gets there safe. Like I think a lot of people have that, but I guess I never really have worried about it before because I've never had a kid do it.
Right.
I just don't usually worry, and now it's like, oh my gosh, my little girl is driving.
Right.
I just want to know she got there.
Right. I get that. So I have a fear. I mean, I worry about not. I mean, shoot, listen, I worry if I text. I just did it with Brooke. She texted me at like 4:45, and I responded at 4:47, and then I asked her a question at 5, and then at 6:30 she hasn't responded, and I'm like, "Well, is she okay?"
Well, it's strange.
Did she get in
That's strange for her not to respond.
Did she get? Well, it is a little strange. Did she get in the car with Avery? I mean, her being pregnant too. I worry even more. Did she fall? Did she? Did she get in the car? Are they okay? Like this, kind of the same thing with you. And then of course she texted me back. She fell asleep, which I kind of knew in the back of my head.
Right.
But anyway, so I think that's a legit fear. Let's see. What? I can't see upside down. I'm trying to look at the time on here. Oh, we're good. Let's do one more. Let me pick. Okay, because we're like on like number 48. No, 47. How many is there? 56. We might be able to continue that. Let's do one more. I'm not going to do that one. Ooh. This is a good one to end on.
Okay.
Number 50.
For
a reference point. What would cause you to end a relationship? Ooh, it's silent.
What would cause me to end a relationship with your spouse?
Okay, so
or with a friend.
Oh, that's a good question. Let's start with saying your spouse. So what would cause you to end a relationship with me? Silent again.
Well, it's difficult because we don't know really. You know what I mean? Like you think that you would say, well, if you cheat on me, the relationship's over. But that's too like the circumstances aren't known. Like you don't know you don't know what's going on. Because I'm truly a believer of like if in those situations, if the person runs from the wrong that they've done and they ask for like they want to, what do they call it, reconcile?
Right.
Or they want to make it right and they want to run from that wrong and they're asking for forgiveness. I'm more of a person that's like, yes.
Right.
Yeah, let's try. Unless it's like, okay, this is like you keep coming back for forgiveness. This is the fourth time.
Right.
Now I'm done. Not on the fourth time, but I'm just saying there's no real remorse. It's just you got caught again.
Right.
It's
no,
like,
I totally get that. And obviously that's not giving me a license to go do it and then be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I understand what you're saying. Because I kind of feel the same way. Because somebody asked me that question a while back. Like, you guys have been together for so long. And we've been together for almost 30 years together. Not married. Don't get it wrong. But April 23rd, 1991 is when Jeff asked me to go out with him. We were in the 9th grade. We were 15 years old. We've been together ever since. We broke up for 30 minutes in college once. That does not count. Literally been together in a relationship, not off and on, solid, like in a relationship for almost 30 years.
30 years in like a week and a half or something.
Right. Married for however long, whichever. That doesn't even matter to me. What the date I celebrate most, which people find weird, is when we started dating, because that's kind of when our story began.
Almost 23 years married.
Okay, thank you. I couldn't do the math. Anyway, so I get what you're saying. Like, obviously, I would be the same way with you. Obviously, I'm not saying, okay, go ahead and go cheat, Jeff, and know that I'm going to forgive you as long as you're remorseful and everything's going to be fine. No, because there's consequences that come with that.
And there's a lot of healing and a lot of struggle. And a lot
there would be.
And you don't know if you'd make it through it. But I'm saying
you don't know.
I wouldn't just cold-blooded like...
You wouldn't just end it right there. And I'm kind of saying the same thing. Right. And I'm kind of...
We got to figure out what's going on here. Why'd this happen?
So
what's going on? How long's it,
Right. I think that we agree with that. Like, it might make you end a relationship. It's just you don't know because you don't know the circumstances, like you just said. If somebody came to you and said, yeah, I'm doing this and I don't care and I don't feel bad about it, and then yeah, you might be like, well, fine. Oh, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Right. Or you get busted for something like that and you go, I just don't know what to do. And I'll be like, yeah, you do. I know what you're going to do. I'm good.
Right.
Bye. You know what I mean?
Sure. No.
There's that whole, for me, it's like that whole, if you can't like come to like, I would think if you can't go, oh shit, what am I doing?
Right.
I gotta figure this out.
Right. And I think some people would be, might be listening to this that might be younger than us or maybe not, maybe same age, and think they're crazy. If my spouse cheated on me, I would be done. And that's fine for you. That's totally fine for you.
But that's what we said when we were younger.
Oh, for sure.
But you know why? Because you think it's a deterrent.
Right.
You think it's a deterrent for me to act like I would just go crazy and...
Hey, hold on, because we have... Yeah? Oh, boy. Okay. We're almost done here. We'll get it cleaned up. What's wrong? Why are you making that face? Is it a mess? No, don't let her in here.
Don't let her in here.
Oh, she tore it. Yeah, she tore it all up. We'll get it. Okay. All right. Have fun.
All right.
Nate got a new remote control car, and he's loving life. And I heard you drove it, and you drove like you do in real life, and it's really reckless.
I drive really good.
But anyway, so yeah, we used to be like that when we were younger. But like, no way. But
that's because it's more about you. It's more about like scaring somebody almost. Like, you better not do this, or I'll do this.
Yeah. Right. And I just think that as we've been together so long, and we have faith in each other, and we trust in each other. I mean, I don't know. I think that circumstances change, and maybe for a couple, if that happened, they would be calling it quits, and that's fine because every couple is different.
Well, you might not have kids. You might not have any. It might be easier to pull out, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Which is why you don't have kids.
Right.
No. I think for me, what would end a relationship, and I can say this wholeheartedly right now, what would end a relationship is if you hurt my kids.
Oh God, yeah.
Even though you're the father, okay?
Right.
You're the father, so I know that's not gonna happen. But some fathers do.
I know.
I would
There's abusive fathers out there.
If you hurt the kids,
it's abusive
parents. Or
if
you hit me, if you abused me, I probably would have to end it because I would have to for my kids' sake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if you abused me, if you hit me, if you hit my kids, if you abuse my kids, that's me and you.
Except in role play.
I think that if I were in a relationship where something happened to me and you, we weren't together anymore, and I was married to somebody else, if you couldn't accept my kids, if you couldn't accept my parents, if you couldn't, then it would end. If you were mean to my family, I don't know if I would end a relationship if you were like hateful towards my family, but like if you abused my family, if you hurt my mom, you know what I mean? Like if if you were an abusive person, I would, and I think you would too.
Yeah,
because women can be abusive as well.
Oh yeah,
it's not just men.
Yeah.
Women can be abusive, and I think that's just something that I wouldn't be able to stand for.
I couldn't deal with psychotic or controlling,
right.
I would not handle it.
So anyway, that's it. I guess we have to get off here and clean up our dog while we were gone. Malibu decided to start her period, and so she has a diaper on, and Nate just came in and said that she got it off and tore it up. So I have no idea what mess you have to go clean up because I said I'm not dealing with the dog.
That's one thing.
I don't even like
relationship.
Right. This is what makes a relationship work. When I can look at him and say, I'm not dealing with it because I didn't want the dog in the first place. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go deal with it.
And she's down there now making a bunch of noise.
All right. Well, we got to go because we could have a bloodbath.
Ooh.
FML.
Good night.
Peace out.